Good morning, welcome to London Station. We're back with Discovery Core and M-Space, a base camp stream, looking at it a little bit deeper. So that's cool, that's fun. We're gonna just kind of hang out with the game, if that makes any sense. We're hanging out, the game's hanging out. We're gonna poke at it some more. We're gonna make a character. We're going to make a spaceship and just kind of like actually get our hands into the meat of the game itself instead of just reading from it. So that's what we're doing today. And if I were even a little bit more prepared, I would have actually opened the PDF, but here we are. Here we are. Should open the character sheets too, I suppose. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. If you're new to London Station is a community-focused coalition of friends, creatives, thinkers, and explorers. We celebrate, examine, and seek meaning from tabletop role-playing games and your other favorite hobbies. If you enjoy earnest roleplay, good-natured discussion, or pondering the stars, this might be the crew for you. And so here we are. Another couple cool things that I've done recently. I'm going to make a video about this, but I haven't sat down to do it yet. Also released a new song cover this morning, Guiding Light by Muse. Great tune. I did sing that one live on stream before, but I did a proper recording of it. I went out and I bought some tabs. See that? I've tabbed up my Hearts of Ravensdale book for Legend in the Mist. I just found that when I was trying to run the game, I had to frequently refer to things, and it was tough. The indexing, isn't super helpful in this book, and maybe in the core books as well, as far as like pointing you to like where you're going to find certain things. So I tabbed it off by every subsection, and used 23 tabs exactly, so you can do it with a 24 pack. Anyway, that was fun. A little bit of hands-on arts and crafts, and that reminded me of something. Don't know what, but I had an impulse to turn around and show something else off, but I don't remember what it was. Don't know. I do not know. We are going to be using real dice today. Hooray. So I've got, this was one of my favorite sets. I still want to improve this set someday, but let's see if I can show them. They are just, a blue and yellow kind of Marvel's Nova colored dice. We're going to use those to generate stuff and things, I guess. It's D100 system, so we're going to be using the D100 a lot, I think. Actually, for character generation, I think we're just using D6s, which means I should probably break out my other D6s. Well, I've got one here randomly. And I've got a bunch in this little thing. So, maybe we will even... I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Not urgent, not importante. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I do have our sci-fi playlist ready to go, so we can vibe in the space vibes today. Yesterday took a look at Dark Ages, which is a resurrected, abandoned apocalypse world hack version. It's complicated. Go watch it. It's a pretty good stream. Very, very in-depth game for them to have released a playtest document on. It's very, very robust. Anyway, I had a good time with that, and sort of, for me, the joy is always kind of finding the emotional center through line of a game, if it has one. Now, M-Space is not a game that has anything like that. It's like, hey, you want to play in space? So do we. Here you go. I'm also going to be using, this is kind of cute. I got this the other day. Same day I got those tabs. I got this cute journal. This is just like as cheap can be, flimsy lined paper, but it's cute as fuck, and I'm going to use that just for things I do on stream, which I don't often do things on stream. Let's see, let me put my keyboard up there, put my notepad right here. And maybe I'll have a little bit of foresight, and I'll make this first page an index, like a bullet journaler would do. I guess I'll call it index. I could call it table of contents, but it's too late. The ink is on the page. Someday I think it would be fun to have a craft camera, like a top-down, and then be able to do stuff, show people what I'm doing. But not today. Today we're going to make a page called M-Space, and use a paperweight there to hold that down, and we're off to the races. Let's swing on over to here so you can all see what I see. And we're going to pick it up. Okay, I didn't even really look at the tabbing before. Maybe we'll create some aliens, too. Simplified combat, spot rules. We kind of skimmed through when we got to these things last week. But we are going to go to character creation. And let's make sure we're doing this and possibly even this. So these are the rules about characters, but where is the page from which I took that clip the other day? I don't know, if you guys watched that clip, you didn't see the first stream. There's like a 4-minute clip where I just talk about my personal thoughts and feelings on character creation. Where's the page? Where is it? Okay, sorry. So I'm so not prepared. Where? This is the explanation of skills. Oh. Okay, this is like the long form character creation, which is fine. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I could have sworn there was a page. Oh my gosh. Oh, it was right there. It was right there, guys. It was right there. Okay, starting off. We're going to be making a character that could conceivably be a character on London Station in a game called The Lambda Act, which is what I would call a hack of this game if I were to make one. And so we know a couple things about the world and the setting, that we are in an orbital space station. It's a research station / resource gathering station / whatever else it might be, orbiting a planet called Eidolon. It's a planet of mystery and intrigue for some reason. And it has 2 moons, a moon called Kippa, which is this low-gravity, cherry blossom-filled, pink petal storm, cool place with flying snakes. Or at least it will have flying snakes when Zachary spends their metadisc. And then the other moon, which I forget, Therion, I believe is its name, which is like a sulfuric, volcanic type place, which I thought would be cool to have, like, pod races on. Like, just pod races. Just straight rip the pod races straight out of Star Wars and put them in there. Why not? Also, let's get it going with this. Every day's a battle. So, there's also a cybersphere component to London Station in the Lambda Act, and there's cool stuff going on down in the bowels there, but not necessarily going to touch that today. I'm thinking let's make somebody who is in the Discovery Corps broadly. That might not be the actual name of the faction, and there may be sub-factions within. It might be a term that loosely refers to all sorts of I don't know, opportunists, privateers, whatever you want to call them, who are going down to the surface for exploration reasons, discovery, resource gathering, etc. Looking for places to put settlements. Who knows? So we're going to have basically a Discovery Corps person. And that's our character concept. Keep it simple for now. It says more will come. That's fine. I'm picturing, we want to go more scientist, more sort of like shock troop, like protect the scientists, or somewhere in between. If Hippo were here, Hippo would tell me to roll a die, so we're going to do that. And we got a scientist person. So we're gonna have somebody who is, you know, a knowledgeable person. They're not there. I guess the purpose of them being there is not for their combat prowess. Doesn't mean they won't have some. Okay. If playing a human, we are. Roll a 3d6 for strength, con, dex, pow, and charisma. Then 2d6 plus 6 for int and size. Do these go in a particular order on the sheet? Yeah, they do. So let's do them in the order of the sheet here. Okay, it's just 3d6. You don't modify it. You don't do anything. You just add it up. So here we go. Here we go. That was a song reference. That's a 12 in strength. $12 is decent, I think. That's a 10 in Constitution. All right, we're a little weak. We're a little weaky. I need to bring the keyboard back down. Okay, keyboard can sit here. More dice, more dice, more dice. Uh-oh. This is a very small character. How are these size 7, strength 12? I guess we'll find out. Now we're talking. Dexterity. 17. This character is going to have a gun, I can tell you that much. 5, 4, 3, that is, I can't do math on stream, 12. No, wait. Hold on. Int and size are supposed to be 2d6 plus 6. Okay, we're just going to we're going to go straight down the line and we'll re-roll those. That's how we're going to do it, because we kind of already messed up. 6, 6, and 2 is 14. Oh, maybe we're a little psychically attuned, too. Maybe we've got some alien attunement going on. And a 9 for charisma. Okay, we're going to re-roll size and int. So we only do 2d6 plus 6. Oh. Okay, that changes things. Size 18. Okay, we are now a big character. Intelligence. That kind of really changed the character concept on us. Yeah, it sure did. Intelligence is 10. I am actually going to take some liberties. I know. I'm going to switch these. Because we had already messed up, and I like this idea, this character concept better. I wonder what these are for. I don't remember why there's little write-ins next to them. I guess we'll find out. Possibly. We might find out. Oh, wait. Why did I think it was straight down the line? It's not straight down the line. It says allocate results to fit the concept. That must have been an alternate rule that I read later. Okay. Let's go back. So you can only switch the size and the intelligence, which we just did. So I like that setup. And then the rest are fairly middle. So 12, 10, 17, 14, 9. I don't really have a good grip on what power is used for. You know, and I will eventually. Sorry, I should have made this bigger earlier. I could roll with a low charisma, though, and have them be just kind of like... have a hard time relating to people. Kind of like that. I kind of think we just leave it. Like, there's nothing really calling me or pulling me to make anything different. Like, you know, it is what it is. So, cool. There we go. There's our characteristics. Next up. Alternatively, distribute 80 points amongst. I'm curious, actually. I'm very curious what our total came out to be. 12, 10, 10. So that's 32, 50, 67, 71, 81, 90. We got a 90-point roll. Take that, game. Had a couple hot rolls in there, for sure. All right, calculate attributes. Use the characteristics to determine action points, damage modifier, experience modifier, healing rate, hit points, initiative, luck points, power points, and movement. Whew. Okay, we know action points in this game are 2. Oh, you know what? That's fine. We'll do it here. Damage modifier is off of a table somewhere here. Damage modifier. Size plus strength is 22. So we have a +0. Experience modifier is based on charisma, and I think it'll be a 0. Yep. Healing rate. I don't remember what that's based on. Con is a 10. So that's a 2. Could be worse. Initiative is the average of int and dex, right? Yeah. Do you round up or down in this game? I don't remember. Let's assume we round up, I think. Well, yeah, because you round up for calculating crits. So we're just going to assume that for now. And if we find that it contradicts later, we'll change it. Power, 14. We got 3 luck points. And move rate is the same for everybody. I believe it's 6 meters or something. rate is after power points. Movement rate. 6 meters, yep. Wealth, we don't know yet. Also, we don't have a space on the sheet for power points, but there's a section here. For those who can utilize such powers... Oh, they're equal to their power. It's interesting that there's not a place to put it on this particular sheet anyway. But that's alright. That's okay. Okay, now, hit points per location if we were using it. Con and size is 20, so we'd have 4, 5, 6, 3, 4. We're not doing that, though. Do we have a... Where do we do hit points if we're doing the, if we're doing the simplified way? I guess, well, we should fill it in, because otherwise we don't know. So leg, 4. Oh, 4 each. Abdomen, 5, 6, 3, 5. 5, 6, 3, 3, 5. Who knows? Maybe London will fall in love with hit locations. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. I wonder, as I look at it in OBS, the text is really hard to read on this particular PDF. Is it okay to read? Nope, it is. Okay, now we've got to do a bunch of basic score stuff. So let's do this on the paper so that I'm not flipping back and forth on you guys like all over the place. Okay, so we have athletics, boating, brawn. And then, you know what I'll be able to do with this character that's kind of fun, is I'll be able to plug them in eventually to what I had already hacked with the new skill design, and then see how my method stacks up numerically against the actual given method. I think that'd be cool. There's got to be a faster way to do this. It's probably to not write them all down. Because don't I have to do all the professionals as well? Is there a column for that? I guess you only do it if you have them, so it doesn't tell you to calculate them all at the beginning. That makes sense. That makes some sense. Okay. Let me also write down my stats here. Okay, now I get to do some number crunching. Boating is strength and constitution. Brawn, strength and size. Conceal is dex and power. Customs is int times 2 plus 40. Wow. I have a 76 in customs. Cool. Dance, dex, and charisma. Deceit is intelligence and charisma. Drive is dex and power. Endurance, constitution times 2. First aid, int plus dex. That's a great stat for me. Okay, I'm the healer. I am the healer, I suppose. Charisma times 2. Yikes. Insight, int plus power. The long pauses are me doing math. Int times 2 for locale. It's 36 there. Native tongue, int, charisma, and 40. Which is 27 and 40 is 67. 67. Ride is dex and power. I can ride aliens. Alien beasts. Charisma and power. It's another kind of low one. Stealth is dex and int. Oh yeah, that's good. Swim, strength, and con. Unarmed, strength, and dex. Willpower, power times 2. Combat style, strength plus dex. Okay, I can at least plug those numbers in over here. So. Oh, it had the notes right here. Now here's a question. Why are these different? The total and the percentage. Why are these separate columns? Anybody know? I don't know. I don't understand. Total and percentage. Huh? It says an athletic score of 25 is expressed as 25%. I wonder if it's meant to be that this is the base and this is the total after you add skill stuff to it. That's how we're going to use it. Fair enough? That's what we're going to do. So let me crop that up there and I'll type these in. Oh boy, this thing does not tab the way you would think. It's funny, it doesn't say int times 2 plus 40 here. I wonder, you know what? I wonder if I have old sheets from before I got the full version. Also, the list in the book didn't have evade. Did it? Or did I just skip it? I did skip it. Oh, good. Luckily, I didn't throw off the numbers, though. Evade is dex times 2. That's a whopping 34, isn't it? Yeah. Locale. Oh, they threw me off here by putting them in a different order. Powers 28. Where do I put my unarmed combat? Unarmed. Here we go. And we have a 29 in whatever else if we choose another combat style. Okay, we're coming along. Now, we don't have a name or home world. The worlds in Lambda Act really haven't been defined through mission control or anything like that. I do have some other station names other than Lambda Station, London Station in our case. They're the same thing, if you don't know. Kairos Station is the one immediately preceding London Station, and they got granted Centurion status like 9 years early. This all means stuff. This is cool setting stuff. We're gonna go female character, because I haven't made a male character in a while, because it feels weird now. It feels weird. So we don't know homeworld, we don't know character name. We could randomly generate a character name pretty quick. I'm getting something with an L. Something. It's almost coming to me. Leandra? I don't know. There we have it, Leandra. I always went Leandrin, and I'm like, ooh, that's a bad Black Aja Aes Sedai from Wheel of Time. Well, that's maybe not. Age, I don't know. Weight, I don't know. Height, I don't know. Race, I don't know. Does it give us stuff for that? Probably does. Race, human. We know that. Human. Okay. Now, what does it want us to do? Go back to this page. That's what it wants us to do. Calculate attributes, standard skills, culture. Decide on a cultural background. Allocate 100 points amongst the listed standard skills, the chosen professional skills, and the combat style, if any, for the chosen culture. So, here is where the game does not have a lot of robustness to it. No, they don't even have, it's not sub-tabbed out for this, so we're going to have to scroll and find it. Sorry. Should be close, though. Here we go. Culture determines the kind of society in which the character was raised, so prescribes certain outlooks and philosophies he or she might have. More practically, culture helps augment the values of the various skills that shape your character's overall capabilities. There are 3 basic cultures: rural, urban, and orbit. So, what we're going to do here is everybody in the London Station world pretty much lives on London Station. Some people probably have moved down to the surface or are on the moons or something like that. But this is about, to me, their upbringing. Together with the name of a character's homeworld and its tech level, you'll get a pretty good overview of their background. Each cultural background lists a range of standard skills appropriate to it and invites the player to pick up to 3 of the presented professional skills. In this way, players from the same cultural background can ensure that their adventurers are different in the areas they have developed. Distribute the culture skill points among the career's listed standard skills and whichever professional skills were selected, increasing each skill by 1% for every point spent on improving it. Games masters may wish to apply a cap to how many skill points can be applied to any particular skill. Okay, so I'm thinking rural, and I don't really have a reason why. But that's the picture I'm having for this character. We've established their base concept as like a scientist of some renown, and we know that they're small and dexterous, I suppose. So, yeah, let's write that down over here. Keep flipping back and forth between the paper and the actual digital sheet. So, I forgot actually, by the way, that you only choose 3 of the professional skills. You don't get them all. Not that you get any of them, you only get what you put points into, but you can't put points into more than 3 of them. And so we get, how many points? I think it's 150. Minor gripe here is that, yes, this is said elsewhere, but you took all this time to tell me what the bonuses are. You should just put, it's 100. And here, they should say it's 150. And here, they should say it's 150. Instead, we're going to go back to here again. Oh, see, I had it backwards. So culture, we're going to get 100 points. Career, we're going to get 100. And then at the end, and that's to any standard or the selected skills from profession. Okay. All right, let's scroll back to it. This feels like a good book to have in print as well, you know, just to be able to flip through this stuff. Okay, so we've chosen rural, so we get 100 100 points to put between athletics, brawn, drive, endurance, first aid, locale, perception, and ride. In addition, a cultural combat style. And then a professional skill. We get to choose 3 of these: craft, mechanics, knowledge, musicianship, navigate, survival, track. So I think the first order of business is to choose these 3, because we don't actually have to put any points into them, but we can later on down the road in the bonus step. So there's a part of me that almost would want to like look at the map of like where my skills are overlapping between different pools, and then allocate them based on that, which is maybe even what you're supposed to do. But athletics, brawn, drive, I mean, we're bad at those things, so more points wouldn't hurt. Endurance we're really bad at. First aid, locale, perception, and ride. I also don't have a great sense of like what you should be aiming for with these points. Like, obviously it's a roll under system, and as it currently stands, most of what I can do, and this is system design of course, most of what I can do I'm succeeding around 30% of the time if I'm lucky, 25% of the time roughly on average. So basically, if you don't put points into something, it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea to even try it, but this is like, you know, play to find out kind of a deal. So we got 100 points, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 things to spend it on. So we could, on average, bump all of these up by 10. Whether or not we want to do that, I don't know. So actually what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to recommend for myself and for others who are playing this, is I have my skill list written down on the left there. I'm going to literally put a R for rural next to the ones I can choose, and then an RP for rural professional, knowing I can only choose 3 of those. And then I can kind of come back and see where we're going to land. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I am going to do. Rural. 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 This is going to be one of those words you say it out loud enough and it stops like meaning anything. Oh, I got to put evade in here. Well, except for I don't have it, so I don't actually need to put evade in here at all. I could get really good at first aid, though. That would be probably a good thing to do. Maybe I'm... You know, this character could just be Pearl from Astro Prisma. Which reminds me, I still need to go off and do finale stuff for that. I am so sorry to the Astro Prisma fans that I haven't done that yet. Shame on me. Okay, and then I have to write a new list because these are the professionals. So craft, mechanics. I really could make Pearl here. Change your name and everything. Musicianship would be fun if I wanted to go like a scientist who is like a hobbyist musician, but they feel the music of like alien cultures or entities or anything like that. That could be fun. You know, because like I've described about the type of game I would want to play using MSpace, and the type of game that I'm trying to partly create with the Lambda Act is that you're not expected to go out and be rock stars and succeed at everything. You're expected to go out and find opportunities. And then you come back with the opportunities, and then you go get the specialist characters. So if you have like that one character where it's like, oh, well, we unearthed this like cavern, and in it was like this thing, and it had these symbols, and they looked musical, and there were these chimes, and we tried to strike them to open it up, but it didn't work. And it's like, go get the music expert, you know? So I think that's fun. You know, and as I know from playing like slice of life games, is that, you know, the role-playing doesn't stop just because you're not actively engaged in a mission on the surface. Like, you still get to be a character and move through the space of the station if you're on the station, or base camp, or wherever you are. Go through the cyberspace. You can still do all sorts of things. So that's kind of the vision I have for this whole thing. Okay, I've written it all down. So let's move on to careers. All right, there's a lot. And the names of the careers are not necessarily super clear at first blush as to what they actually allow you to do, right? So So you kind of want to take the inspiration for the name, but also kind of the sorts of skills that they are. We also want to choose the career to fit the character concept. That's why the first step of this is to create the character concept. So an agent, probably not. Belter, this is like meant to be, this is like in, sci-fi, hard sci-fi type stuff. This is like, oh, I live on ships around an asteroid belt and I like mine out resources and so on and so forth. So like in my envisioned game and world, like some of these careers would change or completely go away because I'm like, that's not the setting. However, it could be that was your past. You were like an asteroid belt harvesting type person and then you ended up on London Station. So possibly. Bounty hunter? No. Colonist? No. Criminal? No. Detective? Maybe. Diplomat? I'm always tempted by a good diplomat thing in a game. It's my temptation. Engineer? Possibly engineer. Gambler? No. Journalist? No. Only because I'm kind of doing this in another game right now. Medic? No. Probably not. Although it does give you, see, this is the thing. It gives you access to these skills. I don't have access to medicine right now. I don't even have access to research or science, right? So possibly. Mercenary, no. Merchant, no. Official, no. Priest, no. Scholar, very, very possible. Very possible scholar. Scout, could be, actually. Could be that they're a scout who has, we give them medicine. We give them knowledge, language, all sorts of stuff. It's not really the way I'm going because I do have scientist as the concept. Smuggler, starship pilot, thief. Okay. So of these, I would say the closest one that I picked up on, the closest ones, would be medic if I wanted to go like xenobiology. And that's like their science field of study. Or I could go scholar, where is it? And just kind of go more generic. I think the xenobiology angle is more interesting. Even if like medic doesn't quite fully get us there. I think that's the more interesting thing. So we're going to go medic. Like an adventurous medical practitioner, kind of like I wonder, is there any good overlap between this character and what's his name, Stephen Maturin from the Master and Commander books. Speaking of, I actually have Master and Commander, which is not the first book. Post Captain is the first book, isn't it? No, Post Captain's the second book. Anyway, these, were made into the film with Russell Crowe. I'm actually disappointed. I got this from a used bookstore, which is all fine and well. But I don't like it when books take imagery from the films that were made of the books. I don't like it. I get it. It feels like a marketing grab. I get it. It's like, okay, well, people reading this are going to have the vision of this character and this portrayal in there, but like, I really love it. I read this book a long time ago. And it's just like really cool to just immerse yourself in all the ship stuff. But yeah, Jack Aubrey, Captain Jack Aubrey, and then Stephen Maturin is his best friend, who calls himself a naturalist, which is the term of the time. And I kind of think that's kind of a fun way to go with this. Sort of that adventuring scientist with a medical angle. So we'll do medic. So now we go to first aid, and I'm going to put an M for medic. Influence, M. Insight, M. Locale, I'm already bonkers at locale. Perception and willpower. So right now I know that if I want to put anything into athletics, it needs to come from, where is my phone? It is making all sorts of noises. Hello, phone, where'd you go? That's very bizarre. Okay, now I know, with my symbols here, the R's and the M's, what I'm getting from just the culture, what I'm getting from the career. and then that can affect how I make my decisiones. All right, now my professional skills I can add are commerce, craft again, so I'm going to write ×2 there. Oh, wait. That's craft with a physiological speciality. So that's different. Well, it could be different. So I could put points into craft of anything from my culture, and then I could put more points into craft specifically a physiological speciality that is different than that other craft. And I could have those be different numbers. That would probably be a terrible idea, but medicine, we'll add that. And we'll definitely take points in that. Language. Probably not going to take language because it's not going to really come up in the way that I envision the game. Knowledge of psychology. I can't spell psychology, but there we go. And then I could take a knowledge in anything else. Research and science, astrobio. So definitely going to pump a lot of points into science astrobiology because that's like their thing. Oh, but I only get to choose 3 of these. That's right. So the only thing that overlaps between those, between my culture and everything, was the knowledges and then the crafting. Everything else was completely separate. But I'm getting a picture of who this character is going to be, so this is also really bothering me. Is my phone in my pocket and I can't feel it or something? I keep hearing it like go off with notifications. Help. Help, I'm going crazy. On stream, live for everybody. All right, it's time to make some choices. So let's choose our 3 skills that we have for our culture. Crafting, I don't feel this character is a crafter. Mechanics, possibly. Knowledge of any, possibly. So let's go find knowledge. Where even is knowledge? Okay, knowledge. It's gonna be n ×2, which is 36 base, and then any. So I'm gonna put a star here for something I might take. Musicianship, I don't think. Navigate, I do like. Survival, I like. And track, I like as well. Because, yeah, if they're going to be tracking down, like, you know, alien critters to study them or whatever, I kind of like this trifecta of navigation, survival, and track. So I'm going to drop this knowledge. Let me drop this knowledge real quick. So our int plus our power here is going to give us a 32. Heck yeah. Con plus power is 24. Not great. Track would be int plus con 28. And then the 3 we'll take from our medic background will be medicine for sure. Int and power is 32. Research for sure, and then science astrobiology. So there you go. I mean, it kind of did just sort of fall straight into some easy choices there. Research and then science. Astrobiology is its own thing. Right. Okay, so check this out. So I can now roll science general, but because the skill that I'm investing in from the profession is specifically astrobiology, I can put points directly into astrobiology. I wonder, though, if I'm missing something, because wouldn't I just put points into the generic science? Or do I not have access to generic science? That's a question that I have, that I'm sure I could find the answer to. Let's presume that I don't just get science generic. And we could probably find support for that. If we find anybody that has science without having that. Like, what does the scholar get? Scholar doesn't get science? Hello? Weird. Jeez, who does get science? I gotta crack open my I made a whole spreadsheet of who does and doesn't get what things. I love this song so much. It's so good. All right, science. Okay, the only people that get science are the bounty hunter, the medic, and the starship pilot. Wild. That's crazy. Now, again, at the end step, you get to put points in whatever. No, you don't get to put points in whatever you want. Oh, that's crazy. So you see, well, you don't see because I don't have this shared. Anyway, I have a whole spreadsheet and it calculates the sum total of the times that the skill appears to know with what frequency I should make it appear if I were to rewrite and rebalance the system out to try and keep the feel of the system somewhat alive. So yeah. Cool. All right, now I see what all these announcements are about. Okay, let's see. What next then? We need to allocate the actual points. Oh boy, okay. I want to be really good at these things, right? So, like, what if I just take these all to 50? What would that do for me? That would mean from our culture pool, we have already spent... Oh, this is getting all crisscrossed in my brain. I've spent 22 there. I've spent 26 there. And I have spent 28 there. So that's 50, 76, 76. So I have 24 points left to spend for R. R being rural. 24 points left. Yeah, 24 points. On the profession side, career side rather, I have spent 28. Oh wait, I'm doing the math all wrong. Math on stream, never, not even once. Okay, back it up. All right, medicine. I have used. Okay, just triggered my Alexa. That's fun. Navigation, I've spent 18. Research, I have spent 18. Survival, I have spent 16. Nope. 26. Here's where I've actually spent 26. Okay, that was accurate. Tracking, I've spent 22. And am I missing? I'm missing something. Science. So that's another 14. Okay, that's because I missed it here too. All right, so I have spent a total of 66 points in my culture, which means I have 34 points left to spend over there. And in my career, I have spent 36.50. So I have 50 points more to spend in career. Yike-a-ronies. Okay. So I can increase athletics. Brawn, not gonna do it. I mean, I could like round these things out a little bit. Drive doesn't seem like a bad one to bump up, so let's put a star there. That I can take from rural, so let's actually put an R. Endurance, I do kind of think I might want to take. That just seems like something I'd want to do. First aid, I can take from either. And I'm gonna probably want to. Influence, I'm not really feeling like I need to take. I mean, that'd be like, what would I use that for in this context? Is like if I have a character that I envision who's like trying to justify their scientific pursuits and everything like that, I could. I'll put it in. It might be something I do. Insight for sure. That sounds useful. Locale. The locale skill is about like knowing the particular place that you already are. So it's not like, I don't think so anyway. I did redesign this in my concept of it to fit the game I'm trying to make, but locale measures the character's understanding of local flora, fauna, terrain, and weather in the area where he has spent the majority of his life, usually within his community, right? So like if this was like understanding the locale for Eidolon, then I would absolutely pump points into it, and even if that was the case, like I'm not necessarily assuming this character has experience on Eidolon. So not going to take locale probably. Perception. Perception seems very important, and I get it from both. Willpower from medic. Okay, and this is again just based on the fact that I ramped these all up to 50. So what do I have left here? I have 3 that are unique to career, and I got 50 points to spend. What happens if I bump these all to 50? Can I even? I can't afford it. What if I bump them to 40? We're just trying to like rough this out really quickly. So I bumped those all to 40, then I've spent 12, 20, and 32, so I have 18 left for the M's. So, what if I put 9 of those here and 9 of those here? Okay. Now, for the R's, I've got 34 points to spend across 1, 2, 3, 4 that I'm interested in. Our first aid is already going to be at a base 44, so let's try and kick that to 50 with 6 more from R. So that leaves us 28 left. This is such a bad way to do this. I need to write down 28 or I'm going to forget. 28 points. Perception is a 41, and if I take 9 there to get this to 50, no particular reason, just like trying to like make this math work, that leaves me with 19 points. Then I got 19 points to go between drive and endurance. Endurance is really lagging behind everything, so I kind of want to take that to 30, which is kind of serendipitous because I can take this to 30. That leaves me with 9 points. Take this to 40, and there you have it. Very spread out character. And final step, we get 150 points to put wherever we want. Not wherever we want. We can't do all of these professional things. We can only do the ones that we have, which is wild, right? So this really shows how you want to have a party who can do all this stuff. Or in my case, you want to have a setup where you have a lot of characters who have different specialities. I do think, though, like I did combine a lot of stuff. Like, at what point do I need to separate art from musicianship? From, I think there's something else here. Isn't singing in here somewhere? Sing is here as a basic skill, right? So do I need to have those all separate? And I think in my sheet, I mashed them all into a thing called artistry. Yeah. Oh, and even then. So I had artistry for like the making of physical goods, and I even broke that down from jewelry, leatherwork, metalwork, stonework, woodwork, wordsmithing. Maybe necessary, maybe not. And then I had a performance category: art, dance, instrumentation, oratory, and sing. Or sorry, act, dance. Yeah. Anyhow, again, I'll be able to take this character and plug them into like my game. And see how it comes out. Because I don't have stats being granted points, I don't think. Or do I? I think I did. I just hadn't figured out the math yet. But I can use this to reverse engineer it and figure it out. Anyway, back to this sheet. We have now 150 points to put wherever we want. And let's say that maybe for the sake of simplicity, We could do a thing where we literally just spend points to round these all up to their nearest 10, which could be funny. But the other thing is, I'm remembering now, that you want these all to be 1s. So this is kind of, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, when you do this, you're basically giving yourself another crit number on the die. You're increasing your crit chance by 1 just by doing this, because they round up. So if you have a 50 in something, you crit on a... Is it 1 through 5? And then if it's... Or 10%, or maybe it's just flat 10% of your skill rounded up. So if it's 50, 10% is 5. If it's 51, it's 5.1, you round up to 6. So you do this, you increase that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we've spent 13 of our 150 points. Leaving 133 left. And if we're going to bump those up, then we want to do it in increments of 10 to get our best thing. So what do we have left? 1, 2, 3. Well, we have 13 of them, right? So I could just bump these all up by another 10%, and I'd have 3 points left. That's what I could do. So for the sake of like moving this along, let's just do that. We have a character that's like really pretty good at some things and really kind of pretty bad at everything else. Oh no, I screwed up. Oh no, I can't control Z. It won't let me control Z back far enough because it's Adobe. Will it? Okay, it will. Oh, good. I was just putting 6s in instead of actually looking at what the number had been before. These all go to 61. This goes to 51. So that leaves me with 3 more points, and then the smart thing to do would be to try and find places where I can bump things up to end in a 1. So if I could find a 28 somewhere that I wanted to bump up, that'd be great. Looks like I've already bumped up my 28s. If I could find a 29 to bump up, that would be great. Like athletics, take that to 32, and then you're done. So, is this a well-rounded character? Probably not. What the heck happened with my drive? This is supposed to be 61. Whoops. There we go. It's probably the case that when you're playing a game like this, you want to spread things out more, because there's so much here that I'm very bad at. Like, why didn't I put anything into stealth? If I want to sneak around and, like, get... Oh, you know what? The reason why is because... Okay, alright, we're gonna... hold on. Can I undo all this again? Okay, so we went through our culture and our career, and we allocated points into the things that we're really good at. What I failed to do is to look at the skills that I could not have chosen yet. And so those are evade. Let's start from the top. Boating. Conceal. Customs. Deceit. Where did I get drive from? I wasn't allowed to put these points here. How did I mess that up? I'll have to watch my VOD back because I'm confused now. Did I accidentally put... Drive is right next to endurance. I got that right. I don't know what I did here. Okay, there's 10 more points floating in the wind. From somewhere. Unfortunately, I don't know. So I've totally screwed up. No. Unless I put the points in drive in this last step. Let's give 5 each to career and rural so that we can just move forward. Okay, rural. Quickly, just choose something. What do I want to be good at from rural? Oh, I know what happened. I accidentally put an R in drive instead of dance. I'm supposed to have access to dance. Whatever. We have a dancer now. Because that was easy to move 10 points into. Move 10 points into there. And I think we're saved. Okay, anyway, drive is a skill that I don't have access to until this step. And then what else? Native tongue. Don't really need to be great at that. What else? Sing, stealth, swim. Unarmed. Oh, I didn't even think about the combat styles. I gotta put points in there too. And we do have a combat style from our culture. And so I was gonna say probably rifles. Like rural hunting, whatever. So we're gonna do rifles. And we're going to want to put some points here. Almost certainly out of that 150. So that is what I was missing. So the asterisks are the ones I really should be focusing on bumping up, not just doubling down on everything I've already got. I don't need boating. I don't need conceal. I don't... customs is not... let's reread customs. Because I always get confused if it means like... Customs represents the character's knowledge of his own community, its social codes, rights, rituals, taboos, and so on. Don't care about that. Deceit, no. Drive, possibly. Evade, possibly. Native tongue, no. Sing, no. Stealth, possibly. Swim, possibly, actually. Don't want to be out here drowning. And then rifles for sure. So how many then are we looking at? Well, there's all of these, but the only ones I'm interested in are those with stars or that already have numbers. I could put... let's do this just for fun. Let's bump this up to 41, so we've lost another 5. So we have 128 left. Okay, so the only ones I'm interested in then are the ones that have numbers or asterisks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we're not looking at like putting 10s in everything. Especially, but we do want to probably put 10 here. We do probably want to put 7 here. So that's 17. 6 here would make it 23. 9 here would be 32. So we're going to do minus 32 is going to leave us with 96 left now. And rifles, we're going to want to like ramp way the hell up. So we're not going to go to 31. We're going to go to 41 at least, which is another 12. Which leaves us with 84 left. Now, do we round ourselves out and basically have the things that we're good at all kind of target 51? Or do we try and get actually good at certain things? Like 51 is still not good. We probably want to be better at astrobiology. So we're going to pick 8 things to go up by 10. Astrobiology. Survival, navigation. 5 more. First aid. Medicine. I don't know what the difference there is, but there's 3 left. Let's go to 61 with rifles. That leaves us 1 more. Tempted to go for evade. Or do we take something up to 71? Just like really go high with it. Let's go 71 astrobiology. Like, let's make that like their thing. Sorry I bumped the mic, but we've done it. We have made a character. I think. I think we did it. Hooray, hurrah. You know, these are the crunchy systems of yore, right? Like, if you don't find fun in doing what we just did that took us an hour, you know, yeah, you only have to do it once, and now the numbers are on the sheet, and now it's just you play the game, you roll, you see what the number is. So I don't know if I used this properly, but I like the idea of keeping the base numbers the same, I guess. I don't know. I would build this probably into a Google Sheet, and I would have it do calculations off of these so that it would just do it for you. And then I'd have another column with points you add, and then the resultant total. But that's all right. Okay. Culture, career, bonus skill points, and equipment. Determine starting equipment based on culture and career. I don't even know where that section is. I don't even remember seeing an equipment section. Okay, we got passions. You know what's funny? This quick start character thing doesn't actually have everything you need, because then it says do your passions. Beginning characters may start with up to 3 passions, each based on 2 characteristics, with a bonus of plus 40 to the first, plus 30 to the second, plus 20 to the third. So you choose the characteristics. Interesting. I don't know that there's enough in the setting yet to really wrestle with this, so I might just leave it. Probably gonna leave it for now. He's gonna be tied to his culture, profession, or personal foibles. Yeah, like hate Lapirians. Like, I don't have like different factions built out. I don't have like psionics built up. I don't have, you know, I could put some vices in there, but anyway, we could think of it, but we're not right now. We gotta make a spaceship, too. We got an hour to make a spaceship. Okay, equipment. Now that the character is almost finished, he or she needs some gear. This can include weapons, armor, or other important paraphernalia used. For a particular profession in the course of adventure, there are many chances to get more equipment, but each starting character has in his or her immediate possession the equipment listed in the sidebar. See the technology chapter for more detailed descriptions of various gear. I don't know that the gear that's provided by the game is anything that I'm interested in, and I might actually, if I were to hack this, I might just be like, you have what it makes sense for your character to have, end of story. You'll get special stuff when you know it. Like, you'll know special stuff when you see it, and you'll get it. But maybe it's well done. We'll see. What's the sidebar that's talking about, though? What is this about? Oh, deepening and waning passions. Got it. Okay, starting equipment. A set of clothing appropriate to the character's profession. Small amount of money. 2d6 times 1,000 credits. Oh, we get to roll for money. Trade tools or transportable equipment suitable to the character's profession. Okay, so they are doing it that way. Any personal weapon for the character's combat style. Other items as appropriate. Okay, so that's not bad. So we could come over here then, and we could do... there is going to be some sort of rifle that we actually have that is a specific ranged weapon. And I think they probably also have like a pistol. Like, I feel like anybody going down to the surface is going to have these, at least a pistol, minimum. A pistol and like a combat knife. And anybody who refuses those, like, you don't get to go to the planet, kind of thing. That's my feeling and vibe. Gear. So gear, we will say, I mean, adventuring scientist gear. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Right on. Let's figure out how much money we have, though. Here comes the 2d6. We're either going to be a broke scientist or a rich one or something in between. Below average. 6,000 credits. Where was that wealth block? There's somewhere to write wealth separately from this. It was up here, wasn't it? Yeah, there we go. 6,000 credits. Gonna write in that we are a medic xenobiologist. Fill that in. TBD. Age, I don't know. Let's give her a nice... I'm going to give her a 42. 42. Oh, no, I accidentally overwrote some stuff. Wait, are these linked? Oh, look at that. That's so funny. These cells are linked incorrectly. So if I put 12 back in here and 10 back in here, they're appearing here. So these are linked wrong in this sheet. That's all right. That's all right. We got our money. We got our combat style weapon. And now we've got some splash art. And then the game system. Okay, so let's jump ahead now. We have to read and understand before we even try and start making a spaceship, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to give it a shot. Starship design. This chapter covers a simple rule system for starship creation. By combining different types of modules you need, it is very intuitive to design most types of starships, from small fighters up to mega destroyers. To create a ship, you start with the number of people it's constructed for. For every person, you need at least one module, though more are often added as you go. A very simple ship, let's say an automatic rescue pod, can consist of just one module. The majority of starships will have much more, though. With all persons, crew, or passengers accounted for, you will start to add a cockpit, engines, maneuvering, hyperspace capabilities, and sometimes a galley, sickbay, weapons, or a lab. Keep adding modules to fill the functions you need without breaking the bank. The number of modules will eventually make up the size stat of the ship. Many sci-fi campaigns and scenarios are built on the assumption that the characters have access to a starship, but starships are massive investments and most starting characters don't have that kind of money. There are many ways to solve this dilemma, but one of the easiest is to have a patron lend the characters a ship, perhaps a rusty bucket with loads of personality and many opportunities for upgrades, to be returned at the end of a few scenarios. If they treat it well, the ship may well become a part of a payment later on. There are several ready-made ships for inspiration in the technology chapter, and also a detailed walkthrough of starship design in Appendix A. Scale. These rules add the concept of scale to Mithras. Descriptions in many of the other chapters are considered as planet-side scale, while starships are in starship scale, being roughly 10 times in size, damage, armor, and so on. Interesting. Overview. Decide upon starship type. Pick the modules you need. Determine size and size rating. Calculate speed and handling. They get more expensive the more modules you have. Add shields, armor, and apps. On astrodynamics, to simplify these rules, a catch-all speed value is used as a consequence. For those of you concerned with astrodynamics, conservation of momentum in space is mostly ignored. That's hilarious. Starship type. First, decide what type of ship you need. Many adventurers want something in between the examples here, but they can hopefully serve as a starting point. We want a scientific ship. It's not going to be like fully kitted out, but we're going to do some science on this thing. Spaceship. Scientific. I don't think there was a digital tool for this, by the way, so you're gonna have to use your imaginations. Starship pilots often have high dex, int, and power. Hey, that's us. They need as many luck points as possible. Hey, that's us. To get them out of deadly maneuvers. Main skills are pilot, astrogation, sensors, gunnery, and mechanics. That's not us. They got the raw stats to be a starship pilot. They have passions like protect ship, loyalty, pride, recklessness, and show off. This is cool. This is a cool little snapshot where they're like, here's how you would make this character. Other characters with the pilot skill include smugglers, scouts, law enforcement, bounty hunters, and agents. Yeah, I don't think I had pilot. Oh, pilot is a professional skill. I didn't even have access to it in the first place. So somebody else is flying the ship, that's for sure. Modules. Pick the modules you need from the list on the following pages. Write the name down and the number of modules. Finish, add them together. The number is size stat. The following things are always included in a starship: hull, power plant, airlock. Not for small ships. Vacuum suits for complete crew, computer life support system, communication system, sensors, repair kit, and a gravity generator. There is no need to buy specific modules for these functions. That's cool. That's cool. All right. One module per person. 1 module per person. Well, we know we have at least 2. What? Well, you don't have multiple cockpits. I don't know what they mean by that. Oh, it takes up the space of 1 module per person. Got it. As I'm writing it out, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So we have a minimum of 2. I would like to conceive of this being like a ship for 4, because that's your adventuring party. So we're going to go 4 there. Engine. Select a thrust rating for the modules. Determine ship speed value. See page 94. We have 6,000 credits to our name. We're not actually buying this ship, but it would be interesting to know, you know, how good it is. It's probably standard engine. We'll see how much the ship is worth when we're all done with it. Maybe we're making payments. Thrust is 70. Maneuvering thruster. Select a thrust rating for the modules. Huh? Use the table above. Determines the ship's handling value. Okay. What? Wait a second. Okay, I wish it would tell me like which ones are required. Because I'm assuming we're required to have a cockpit. I'm assuming we're required to have an engine. But are we required to have a maneuvering thruster? Let's write it down anyway. Sick bay would be something that would be nice to have. I don't know that we have it necessarily at the start. 4 modules per patient. Holy crap. So that would be 16 modules if we wanted to have it be able to serve our whole crew. Oh, per patient. Okay, so it doesn't have to be per crew. It's just how many people you can treat at a time. So that would probably be 1. 1 module for an auto dock with room for 1 patient. I don't understand what this means. This has got to come up in the complicated rules later on. Crew. 1 module per crew member. 4 modules per crew member for a cubicle. Okay, we're just going to have to skim through this and get to the detailed, because I don't understand any of this. 1 module per passenger. 4 modules per passenger for a cubicle. Cargo hold. I don't think we're doing cargo. Weapons, I don't think we're doing. Lab, yes. I do want to have a lab. And we're probably going to have an auto dock. Whatever that means. Okay, there's a good example here. We'll read through this in a second. Open space. 8 modules minimum. For canteen, briefing room, theater, garden, gym, etc. Holds 1 person per module, but at least 2 modules per person is preferable. So it's 8 minimum, and they're saying basically if you have more than 4 people on the crew, then you want to add them. Add more space. Hangar bay. For a small ATV, yes. I think we have an ATV. How much space did the lab take? One module for the lab. Interesting. Hyperspace, nope. Self-repair, nope. Escape pod, That seems like it should be a requirement. Are there not insurance agencies out here requiring you have an escape pod? That seems like something they would require you to have. Tractor beam, no. Extra sensors. Yeah. Robot arm, no. We're not going to be doing things in space with this thing. Add the number of modules together to get ship size. Well, I kind of lost track. How much do the sensors take? 1 module with 2 additional close range sensor arrays. 1. How many modules does the engine take? Or do these not take modules? We're gonna have to get to the... I don't... The problem is, game, I don't know how many modules this is gonna take. So the cockpit and bridge is 1 module per person you want to be on the cockpit or the bridge. So I'm actually gonna say that's gonna be a 2. I'm picturing a small ship. So potentially I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. A ship with 10 size. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Example military ship sizes. Fighter is 5. Wow. Small craft 10. That's where we're at. 8 to 15. That's us. Oh, that's a military ship. Hold on. Civilian ship. A shuttle is 12, and we're less than that. Wow. Yeah, we're probably underestimating something here. And then you have a size rating. Okay. See, this is stuff that, like, it's cool. I would probably cut this out of my game because I'm not telling a game that has mega destroyers or like wars in space. That's just not the game that I would use this to play. So a lot of this, it's like neat, like cool, but we would never use it. So yeah, see this, like this is not clear to me. 1 module per person. Is that per person on the ship? Can't be. It must be per person that you can have on the cockpit. This is actually a little clearer, though. We also know how frickin' broke we are. Look at this. 5,000 for the bridge. We went with the standard engine, so 5,000 for that. Maneuver thruster. We don't know. We gotta get to page 88. We were on page 88. That's not helpful. Sick bay. Here we go. 5,000 credits. So it doesn't matter. This is interesting. The sick bay, it's the same amount of money no matter how big it is, which is wild. Crew. Is this to hire crew? No, this is for the crew module. So I got 4 of those. I didn't even write that in. 1 module per crew member. So actually we're at 14 size. This is not a passenger vessel. And so that's another 4,000, I guess. Cargo hold, no. Weapons, no. Lab, yes. 5K for the lab. Yikes. Open space. I didn't even build any of that in. Hangar bay, yes, we had for the ATV. Yeah, this isn't price per module, is it? Oh, it is price per module. Oh no. Oh god, so expensive. It's so expensive. Okay, so this is 4K. And yeah, price per module. Okay. So it does matter the size if you do a sick bay. One module for an auto dock. If you want to actually have a sick bay, it'd be 4 modules, which is 20,000 credits. Wild. Escape pod, we feel like we have to have. And extra sensors, 5K. 2 sensor types per module. Oh, so we actually get to choose those. That's fun. So we want to do... Oh, use with sensor skill. We don't have that. Our pilot better have that. We want to do probably a heat sensor and a life sensor, I would think, for this ship. Because there would be ships that are like good at targeting resource gathering type stuff, right? So that could be fun. Like water would be nice if you're going to these unknown planets. But again, in the setting that we have, we kind of like have already established this orbit around this planet, and it's not so much like this completely random discovery of new places yet. I have a tie-in lore plan for how we could get off and away from Eidolon into new and exciting things. But no time soon. So how much money have we spent then? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 34,000 credits. Yeah. Okay, so... Streamlined, right? Yes, here if the ship is designed for atmospheric flight. There must be... Is there ship stuff on here? No, there must be another ship sheet that I just don't have downloaded right now. That's okay. Okay. Big capital ship size stuff we're not doing. Okay, stats. Speed. Speed is a combination of acceleration and top speed and is calculated from the number of engine modules and their thrust rating. Add all of the engine modules' thrust rating together, then divide the combined thrust rating value with the ship's total number of modules to get speed. Zero speed can be used to simulate ship-sized space stations. Okay, let's take a look at this, because we only got one engine module, and the number of modules we have is 14. Oh, thrust is 70. Okay, my bad. So it's 70 divided by 14. Which, geez, do I have to do that on stream? Really? I'm going to do long division. Sometimes it's faster than pulling up the calculator. Is that 5? No. Is it exactly 5? It is. So our speed is 5. It's slow. Handling. Handling defines how quick and easy the ship is to steer, is calculated from the number of maneuvering thrust modules and their thrust rating. Add them together, divide by total number of modules to get handling. But we didn't see thrust rating attached to maneuvering thrusters, so I don't know what that is. Oh, excuse me so much. Excuse me. Let's go back and see if we missed something. It uses the same... Okay, so it's just about price. Oh, also I threw out my math. I didn't count that as a module. I didn't count that as a module. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16. We are at 16, which means we're slower than 5. And I wonder if we round up. Let's round up to 5. So I would say the maneuver ability of the ship is probably quite low. We'll go over the cheap maneuver ability. Oops, did I miss it? There it is. It is a science ship, though. It should be standard. So we'll go 70. So we'll go speed and maneuver. It's both 5. And we can add modules for that later if we want it to be better. Again, it only really matters if like we're playing in a game where it matters how much you can maneuver the spaceship. And it's kind of not the story I'm telling with Lambda Act. It's kind of more or less assumed that like you want to get down to the planet surface, you get there. But the things that are important about the ship is like the amenities on it and what you can do with it. Until potentially, you know, the expansion product for Lambda Act, which is where, you know, maybe it's going out into distant systems and exploring stuff. That's when that stuff would matter. So, sorry, we are scrolling all over the frickin' place. All right. Oh my gosh, I scrolled too far. There we go. So our handling is 5. So thrust rating is out of D100 as well. That makes sense. Yep, I see how the math is mathing. Okay, size is the number of ship's modules. We are 16, so we are about 20 meters in length. Minimum. And can give a rough guideline to hint to how big the ship is. A spherical ship can be 50% smaller, while a streamlined ship can be 50% longer. I think it is streamlined. Isn't streamlined where it's supposed to go through the atmosphere? There was a thing about it here. Yes. Non-streamlined ship. Okay, that's not our problem. Not our problem. So it could be as much as 30 meters. And it could be longer anyway. It's just a rough guideline. Okay, weapons we're not doing. We don't have weapons on this thing. Maybe we should have some. But we don't. Oh, you know what? Actually, it would be kind of cool for it to have like some sort of like turret. Like just in case like crazy aliens are swarming the ship, and it can just like be a minigun and just mow stuff down. So none of these really are that, but you can figure out the range, the damage, all that stuff. Interesting. Alternate ways to do approaches for speed and handling. Protection and recovery shields are energy fields. We're not dealing with spaceship combat, so we're not going to worry about armor or hit points. We probably should worry about hit points. Hit points can be bought separately. After the shields reach 0 and armor is deduced from the damage. So that's supposed to say deducted. It reduces hit points. Hit points are reduced only per section as hit locations are used. Oh god. We're not doing spaceship hit locations. No thank you. Recovery is an optional rule to regenerate shields at the end of combat round. Okay. Apps are programs that can be installed. Targeting app. Sensors app. Yeah, we're going to get the Sensors app. You know we are. For another... Oh, adds up to 20% in sensors. You pay per 5% increase. Jesus. We'll add 5% for 22,000 credits. Why not? Astrogation we don't need. Rebuilding and expanding. Ship can only add 20% new modules when expanding. So you have to do 20% at a time. This is cool. I really like how like the ship modules can add percentages to the things you're trying to do. Especially if you're doing like a scientific exploration type story, which we are. So like if Homegirl is on her ship and we have the lab, which gives us, that's the thing, is it gives us up to 20%, doesn't it? Sorry about the scrolling. Go back to the lab again. One module adds 10%. So she literally has an 81% chance to succeed at doing an astrobiology check if she's on the ship in the lab with the stuff she's studying. She's a smarty. Okay, upgrading engines. These are all things that'll happen much, much further down the road. Hit locations, no. No, 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 no. Not that kind of game, not that kind of story. Additional rules. An autodoc has first aid skill at 80%. Life-sustaining treatment in severe cases for 3 days. This is actually really helpful because there is like a deadliness to the system. But yeah, if you can get back to your spaceship, then you're probably going to be fine. 80% first aid check? Not bad. Sensors. Short range. Hyperspace modules. That's cool. Ship condition is an abstract way to deal with ship damage. It's an optional rule to simulate ships that are a bit rusty or ships with a bit of personality. Nice. Condition ranges from 0 to 1. 0 to negative 100. Oh. Penalty to all pilot rolls. Ugh. As ship conditions drop below negative 20, takeoff, landing, and entering hyperspace will often need a pilot skill roll. Oh, that's funny. So the condition of the ship tells you whether or not you have to roll. If it's in good shape, then you just don't have to roll because the equipment works. Anytime a roll is failed, the GM may call for a roll on the malfunction table. At minus 20, these rolls should occur once every second gaming session. At minus 40, once every gaming session. At minus 60 to minus 100, roll freely. Wow. Minus 10 each time maintenance is not paid for. Minus 10 every time the ship is not repaired properly after combat. This is like intense levels of ship maintenance. I don't think we would do in the game we're making. But yeah, it'd be fun to do just to run it raw. Also use ship condition as a negative mechanics skill modifier. Buying and selling used ships. Hey, there's your ship ship sheet. Ship sheet. We sell ships by the seashore. All right. NPC ships, starships. So yeah, here's where you're writing down your modules. So they had cockpit 2, open space 12, crew 4, 16. Right. Okay, so we did understand some of this stuff. Engine thrust rating 100 is 9 modules? What? Oh. They have 9 engine modules at thrust rating of 100. Holy crap, they rich. Speed, handling, size, 89. Okay, yeah, that's a big old ship. And the astrogation app. Okay, cool. Doing hit locations for a spaceship could be fun. Okay, I will admit it. I will admit it. And there you have it. There's the Nighthawk. So each one of these is a module. Got it. So that's the 2 from the cockpit. Open space 12. Is this the open space? No, that's only 10. What am I missing? Unless these are upper airlock. Fresher. Don't know what that means. Common space galley. Cubicles. Cargo hold. What does this M/R mean? MR. Access points for maintenance and repair. Okay. So that's just for fun? Or is that the open space? The open space has got to be... Oh, but they also had to account for the engines and the maneuvers and everything like that. And those aren't listed here. So that's interesting. Starship combat, we are skipping entirely. And believe it or not, we're not even halfway through the book yet. There's all the combat rules. There's alien creation, which would be so cool to get into for Eidolon. This stuff could be really cool. World building. Yeah, if you're genuinely generating planet by planet. There's your roll tables for all of it. This is cool stuff. Sorry, I don't have this full screen. My bad. Special world features. Ringed, habitable moon, tide locked, high radiation, tidal effects, flare star. That's neat. Okay, circles. This is actually an idea I should have caught in the first stream. But these are like factions, right? In a way, with more than 5 people doing things together, work tends to be organized in one way or another. And with more than 12 people brought together, ideological groupings will often start to appear. Using organizations and ideologies in play can be a very effective way to make worlds and NPCs come alive, giving them clearly defined goals that the characters can either be a part of or try to thwart. Here, organizations and ideologies are called circles. A circle can be any collection of people sharing an ideology or goal, from alien communities and world-spanning religions to secret Illuminatis and local anti-environmentalists. By assigning stats, attributes, and traits to circles, their relative strengths and weaknesses can be compared. If characters join a circle, they can call for benefits and fight for its cause. This way, you can make circles an integral part of the game, from the personal level of the characters up to a galactic scale where ideologies compete for dominance. This is very cool. Ideas are what make circles tick, the very reason for their existence. It can be the love of a god, technological advancement, the superiority of a specific group of life forms, or a combination of several ideas. Many circles have one idea at the center of its faith, while other ideas being added as the ideology evolves. Okay, there are 4 types: organization, ideology, corporation, location. See, this is what I need to steal for metadisc use for mission control in London Station. You could make any of these, you know, and you could actually make it as a circle in the mechanics of the game. Add a descriptive word after the type. For example, organization, religious; ideology, political; ideology, alien; location, city of graph. And then they have stats, influence, size, resources. It's very trad. Size, resources, organic stat growth. To give a quick indication of how a circle develops, you could mark potential stat growth with a small arrow pointing up, down, or horizontal next to the stat value. characters decide to openly support a circle, their actions can increase or decrease stats. Heroic deeds showcasing the ideals of the circle are very likely to attract new followers, new money, and possibly contacts with important decision makers and spin doctors. Circle can gain 1 point in any of the stats for a heroic deed by a character. Bad publicity will reduce any stat by 1. Interesting. They've got attributes as well. They've got attribute descriptions. Good lord. So this is like in that category of game where it's like there's a lot of crunch here, but if you want to take the time to learn it and immerse yourself in it and actually create a persistent world, which is where I think doing some sort of like mega game with a large stable of characters that can all interact and do different things and have all these different circles going on in London Station, different circles going on, like split off factions that have like decided to stay and live on the planet and they're causing trouble, or whatever could be developed. Rogue bandits who have decided to set up on Therion, like because they figured out a way to survive the sulfur vents or whatever it might be. It's a ripe, fertile ground for developing those sorts of things, I guess is my point. So even though it seems like a lot, it seems like way too much, but it's the kind of game that you would want to, I feel like you would want to sit down and like study it and just tinker with it and make stuff, and over time you'll find a kind of lingua franca and like a familiarity with it to make it comprehensible. It's easy to like play Pathfinder 2 in New Dawn, for example, and be like, oh, we all kind of know how characters work, we all kind of know how like towns work and everything like that, but it doesn't have mechanics for us to be like, what is Chio's circle influence group with stats and things that you could actually do about it. We're doing it very narratively, which is great. In a game like this, in a world like this where it's like trying to be about, can you be good enough or skilled enough to actually impact the things around you, I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's neat. Traits are defining important aspects of a circle that are not easily covered by attributes. So these are like tags, dress code, typical behavior, diet restrictions, and so on. Yeah. Character rank within the circle. Benefits. But yeah, like the benefits, like, okay, we don't have somebody who's good at geology to figure out what's in this mineral. So it's like, do you have a circle that you have a relationship with that you can just like pull in a specialist? Yeah. Pretty wild. There's an element of a system like this. Here's what it kind of feels like. It feels like people sitting around a table and being like, man, wouldn't it be cool if there was a system to like interact with factions to like try and smuggle things through? And like, oh yeah, that would be cool. Let me just think about that for a while, and I'll just add this entire new little subsystem bolt-on mechanic. And then eventually over time they got written down, and then here you go. But it really does just feel like, here's your base system, and then let's just plug a bunch of stuff into it. Circles, structure, ideas. Yeah, then here's your sheet for the circle itself. Look at that art. I don't think we saw that one before. That's super cool. The lightning striking. Settlement down below. That's a huge fleet of ships. Like, they're up to something. Goddamn. Somebody's getting blown up. Hey, look, it's a space station right there. Is that... Okay. It took me a while to parse this. Whatever this is like about to eat this moon. That's crazy. That's crazy. I swear, I need to find where my phone is. I keep hearing the notification go off and I can't see it. I'll survive. Psionics. We're not doing psionics necessarily. I like this art too. I like this style of ship. It kind of has this like panels and like angles and everything. And like the spaces that aren't paneled. That reminds me of the ship art PDF that I got when I started drawing ships. By the way, I don't know if I told you if I've ever shown this on stream. One of my many attempts to like retain my sanity over a difficult time in life, I was like, I need to keep doing things, and I started drawing sci-fi stuff. I was like, well, I might as well learn how to draw spaceships and stuff if I'm gonna do this channel and all that cool stuff. So here's a sketch of a ship that I did. Oh no, hold on. Let's not be silly about it. There's a sketch of a ship that I did. Just learning like the perspective and the framing and everything like that. And so this was completely not done off of a reference. I just kind of like wung it, whatever. You can see I dated it. That was December 30th. It was a month before the channel started. Yeah, I didn't finish this, but like I was just practicing like drawing cockpits and stuff. It's not good, but did I do anything good? I would go to a cafe and sit there and bring something to read and something to draw, and I was just trying to keep alive. This was from January 19th. Just a viewing port. I don't know. It's kind of cool, right? I think it's cool. Some of these I did. Why did I have a Magic the Gathering card in here? Okay. Some of these were actually references off of existing drawings. This one was I used a reference image for this one. And this is the style of the book that I bought, which was a PDF book about drawing spaceships and such. So that's the style I'm talking about. Anyway, back to the RPG. The survival times. They were something else. This is really good. Just the way it communicates scale. Yeah, there's people hugging down here. I like when people hug. Vehicle design. Oh, that's right. There's vehicle rules for, like, you know, we said we'd have like a little ground crawler or something like that. Yeah, so you got to do all that too. It's wild. That's wild. This is just something you chip away at on your own time. Giant sea alien thing. Love to see it. Really evocative. Like, you don't even really necessarily know what you're looking at, but you're like, it's something. It's something. Technology lab research. This is fun. Finding clues by scientific research is quite common in science fiction. With a lab module in the starship or vehicle, characters even get a chance to uncover clues in the field. Conducting research. Yeah, this is all stuff I would want to use and figure out. And potentially steal the rune system from Runeway as my whole locking subsystem. Trade and cargo. Personal equipment. Hey, here's our weapons. Blaster rifle. 1,000 credits for our rifle. Oof. At least we get to start with it. Force sword. Thermal detonator. Equipment, data links, comm links, droid collars, droid controllers, keypad links, data pads, memory cells. Wild. Memcube, data storage medium, encrypted and self-destructing. It's just neat. There's just a lot of neat stuff in here. And you would go through this, as I will at some point, and like cherry pick like the things that I envision existing in my setting and leave out the things that don't. And you could almost take this exact book. You would probably never do this. This would be sacrilege, but like get a black marker and you could just like redact everything that's not in the setting and then be like, boom, now this is the Lambda Act. It's more about, what do they say? Like, well, certain art forms are about removing more so than they are about adding. Because I do think any game that I would want to run using this as a baseline would be much simpler than what we have here. It's nothing new. I keep repeating myself over and over again. That's all this stream has been today. Here's your vehicles. Land speeder. All-terrain vehicle. Here we go. 4-person light terrain vehicle cost 50,000 credits. Oh. Yeah. It's expensive equipment. I now know why Universal Control tithes all these space stations 10%. I get it. Starfighter. Okay, so this is where it was talking about all the pre-built ships. So there might be a free trader. Look at that. That's a what's it called? Traveler reference. Does it have a scientific ship? Nope. Not yet. Perhaps. Destroyer? Frigate? Crew, 19,000. Wow. That's cool. The rocket. That's a pretty cool speeder. Life forms. That's crazy. Life forms is its own chapter outside of alien creation. Okay. A little bit of setting work there. Okay, Starship Design Walkthrough. This is what we should have done. Oh, this is cool. This is an example. Okay, we're going to read through this, and then we are probably going to wrap stream after the fact because it is approaching that 2-hour mark, and I got to work today. I'm going to go in early. They wanted me to come in early. I'm going to go in early, help them because they need to do inventory, so is what it is. Going into work is still a little interesting because I'm like half out at work, but I'm in the lumber yard, so I'm like wearing like men's jeans and like just a v-neck shirt with a vest over the top of it, so it's like I can't do a whole lot to communicate the whole gender thing. So I do the nails and the makeup lately, the last couple times, and I wrote my chosen name over the top of my given name on my name tag last week or 2 weeks ago, so that's interesting. But yeah, it's kind of the final frontier. Is there's a bunch of people I work with that are probably just like, what's going on there? I'm like, well, you can ask or you can figure it out. This is a walkthrough of the Starship Design rules in more detail. Step 1. First step is to determine the ideal number of people that's going to use the ship. As stated above, I'm going for 4 people. That's 1 pilot and 3 crew members or passengers. Let's start with the cockpit. 1 module would be enough, but as some of the storytelling action often happens in the cockpit, I'm making it 3 modules. The second cockpit module will be ideal for a gunner. Add cockpit 3 under the modules heading on the Starship sheet. As the ship must be functional for longer trips, cubicles are needed. That means 4 cubicle modules per person. A total of 16 modules. I add crew 4, 16 to the sheet. That makes sense. Step 4. Time to add a common room. Combined meeting, dining, and hanging out type space, I'll make it bigger than necessary, 15 modules. Cargo holds are always difficult to determine the size of, but I'll go for 22 modules here. Okay, so I was being like really conservative with the way I was building things. Not big enough for a regular trader, but enough to fit an ATV and some dandy exploration equipment, not included in the purchase though, yeah. Characters tend to get hurt a lot, so a good 4 module sick bay is needed. As a precaution, I throw in an auto dock 2. Okay. Why's the auto dock 2 modules? I thought it was only 1. So they went with 1 sick bay. And I guess that's so that characters can actually use their first aid skills, I guess, rather than the auto dock doing it at 80% first aid. I don't know. Ship needs reasonable hyperspace capabilities. Ours doesn't, but 3 modules. The ship will be able to go 3 hexes per jump when used together with a standard subsector map. Fair. Weapons. 2 lasers will do. 1 operated by a pilot, the other by the gunner. Weird. I'm upping damage to 2d6 though, using the rules from the advanced combat rules. This will take 2 modules. This is what the modules looks like now. Sidebar. Bam. That's funny that this is step 9. That's not a step. All in all, 67 modules so far. Take a moment to look through what modules I have. Flicking through the rulebook, I make sure I haven't missed any of the functions the ship needs. After some consideration, I decide that I'm happy as it is. The main reason for double checking at this stage is to avoid recalculating speed and maneuver more than necessary. Now that the ship's layout is firmly set, it's time for engines and maneuver. I grab my iPhone calculator. I will try with a thrust rating of 70 and see how it works. I start with a size 1/10 of the total modules just to get my bearings on the speed and maneuver values. 7 engine modules and 7 for maneuver. Let's see what speed and maneuver values we get with that. 8. 8 is still a bit low, raising thrust rating to 100. Speed and maneuver at 12 is a good start. I'll keep 12 for maneuver, but go back to TR 70 for the engine modules. The engine, I decide, is a bit old. Okay. I mean, ship stats are ready. Armored shields are next. Remaining attributes. Stealth, no. Streamlining, yes. Apps, no. Will not use recovery to keep any combat simpler. If you don't want to use hit locations, the ship is done. Hey, it's us. Just set general hit points to 87 and you're good to go. Hit points are equivalent to size, I guess. Okay. Right. Okay, so what they do here is was written as an alternate rule, is you calculate out your module total, 67, right? And then they went through the trouble of figuring out how fast they wanted to go, and the modules needed to make it reach that speed. Here is what generates the final size rating, but you don't then recalculate again the speed against the new size rating. You just use it against the size rating of everything that's not engine or maneuvers, basically. That's why this size is 87, because they added 10 modules of each. Got it. So then they're nerfing themselves by giving it some personality and taking away hit points and such. This is good. This was a good walkthrough. That was very helpful, actually. Very helpful. Combat example. We're not doing Starship combat in my world. But this is, wow. This would be a wild thing to read through. Round 7, round 8. Appendix C, additional careers. Oh, over the years since M-Space was first published, players have asked for additional careers. Here I've collected a few more from other M-Space books. That's kind. So there have been supplements that have come out since then. So look, now here's a scientist. Son of a... What would have been really great is to go back to the careers chapter and say, by the way, there's some more in Appendix C. And maybe it does say that, but... cool, yeah, scientist. Would that really change a whole lot for us, I wonder? It would give us access to a broader science field. Computers. But, you know, nothing really that I would really want for this character. Kind of like how she came out as is. Customs, influence, insight. I think I had those already. Yeah, those already came from medic. Perception and willpower. Yeah, most of this stuff overlapped with medic already anyway, so no big deal. Expert characters. Oh, this is where you can do skill pyramids instead of doing the complicated version we did. You can do this like kind of Fate style and just be like, look, take 1 skill, add 50, take 2, add 40, take 3, add 30, take 4, add 20, take 5, add 10. We did not do that. We made a very not jack of all trades kind of character. That's what we ended up with. There's a little alien. This reminds me of District 9. Just the little appendages and stuff. Sample conflicts and acknowledgements. I would like to thank everyone at the forums of BRP Central for their generous attitude and open-minded discussions. Without them, M-Space would not have survived beyond its first iteration. I'm also in a great debt to Paolo Guccioni at Aleftar Games for his brilliant idea of generic conflict resolution mechanic for D100 games. Me too, Paolo. Thank you. Lastly, I'm happy to have found a good home for M-Space with the design mechanism. Lawrence and Pete have made me feel very welcome. I dedicate this book to Katarina and Ollie. Beautiful. And this is the introductory scenario to look into. This is where I got the thumbnail art from, the companion, which is about robots' origins and cybernetics. And yeah, there you have it. Nice indexing. You'd love to see it. And, oh, here's the actual character sheet. Cool, 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 cool. Very cool. Bored? Play role-playing games. I agree. Well, my mind has been melted because that was a lot to take in, and but it was a good sense of yeah, it is a very highly, I guess you want to call it a simulationist game, but in kind of that, not quite, but kind of OSR-ish style. I don't know. It does seem like the resolution is built to handle pretty much anything you can throw at it. So, a robust sci-fi game that I think has a lot of what I need, a bit of what I don't, and with a little bit of carving away at it, I think there's really something there that I can use for the baseline of the Lambda Act. Even though I've waffled back and forth, I'm like, well, it could also be a Forge to the Dark game, but I'm like, nah, I don't want a narrative sci-fi game. I want a sci-fi game that generates narrative when you look back at it. So, is what it is. In any case, I believe some of our friendos are streaming today. I do not want to save changes to the PDF because I did not intend to make any changes to the PDF. Thank you, computer. So let's go see. I think Zach is streaming. So I'll go drop in there while I get ready for work for the rest of my day. They're doing an art stream. If you haven't seen Zach do art live, my God. My God, they're good. So I'm going to go hang out over there. Put that in the chat. If you want to come along with me, it would be much appreciated. We can drop in, say hi, and then you can go on with your day. It's called the Raid and Run. The Twitch people know how it works and to expect it. But I'm going to go head over there, and then also look at me. I'm so professional now. I have made a command to generate my standard raid message. Yay. So if you'd be so kind, you want to come on over, copy that. We'll go hang out over there for a second. Did I copy it? Every time I try to copy it, it like pops it back up. That's where I'm going to go. And with that said, we'll be back Wednesday night with something. I might play Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. It was $2, so I bought it. And I was like, I love this game, and I'd love to talk about this game. And it's very cinematic. I fired it up yesterday evening just like to like figure out how the controls worked and everything. And I was like, yes, I love this game. So we might do something like that on the off weeks from Expedition 33. But I think that's enough of an outro. If you didn't check it out, it was just me. I uploaded a new song cover this morning. Those have been a lot of fun to make. I'm also working on making more clipped video content when I find that there's anything worth making. So anyway, you've seen that process as it's evolved. I'm doing my best to make sure that London Station is providing the value that I think it needs to be providing to justify doing any of this in the first place. I love y'all. I love y'all. I know you love me. I don't need you all to support me just because you care about me. I also want to be giving you something of value. So with that said, we're going to go head over to Zach's stream, and I will see you all again on London Station. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday and rest of your weekend. Love y'all. Have a good one.